One person is dead after a high-speed chase and crash overnight that might have shut off your power.
And Madison's police chief says a new contract for school resource officers is against state law.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. It is 6 a.m. on this Wednesday, December 19th. Leah is ill, so I'm in, keeping you guys company. No Christmas carols, but I am getting festive with the socks today. We've got the snowman socks going.
Nice.
Look.
And you know, I've been dreaming.
Someone's wanting snow.
I am. I've been dreaming of White Christmas, but
I just wasn't expecting any of that to just happen. So
I'm just happy I didn't kick you off your chair or fall off my chair for that matter. So.
I didn't bring the festive socks. Sorry, Hads.
That's okay. It's okay. And I can't even really bring the snow, so I apologize for that. A lot of people are asking whether or not we're going to have a white Christmas. Chances are pretty slim here across southern Wisconsin. We do have some precipitation on the map, and normally this time of the year it'd be snow, but temperatures are quite mild this morning, so we're looking at rain. There are a few spots, though, that are getting pretty close to the freezing point, so there is the potential for a little bit of freezing rain early. Madison's at 33, Boscobel is down to 30, Watertown's at 32, so be aware of those critical temperatures this morning. As we go through the next 12 hours, temperatures are definitely going to rise above the freezing point today. We'll be back in the low 40s. The big difference between today and yesterday, though, is the cloud cover. A lot of clouds expected in the area today. Here's a look at your first alert traffic conditions across the Madison area this morning. Starting to get a little congested right around the Beltline and Stoughton Road early this morning. Otherwise, in the area, it doesn't look like there are any accidents slowing you down as you head into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
Well, I guess I'll keep dreaming for a white Christmas then.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
First this hour, we do have new information on a high-speed chase and fatal crash that happened last night. This started when a Dane County deputy tried stopping a car in the town of Burke around 8:30 last night. That car sped off, reaching speeds of up to 100 miles an hour. A few minutes later, the car crashed into a utility pole at Wheeler and School Roads. Both people in the vehicle were taken to the hospital. One person has died. There is no word on the other person's condition. As you saw there in that video, MG&E crews are still on the scene this morning to fix things up on that scene. They did restore power, though, to nearly 2,000 customers around 1 o'clock this morning. In Walworth County, crews say a lack of available water caused some issues with taking down a structure fire last night. The call came in around 6:15 for a fire on Lake Lorraine Road in the town of Richmond. Multiple departments responded to that fire, which burned for several hours. The Walworth County Sheriff's Office says it's no longer active this morning and that no injuries were reported. We do expect more information from first responders there later today, and we'll be sure to pass that along.
New this morning, Madison Police Chief Mike Koval says he will not agree to a contract regarding school resource officers after some of the contract's language was changed. The school board approved that new agreement Monday, but changed some of the language to make sure the district can fire an educational resource officer in case there's cause. Chief Koval says he agreed to the contract before the amendments and that the new provision does not align with state law. Common Council still needs to approve the contract before it goes into effect.
The public library in Lodi is still closed this morning after staff found mold in the basement. There will be another air test done in the building later today. That mold was discovered when they were retiling floors and found water underneath the concrete. There were some traces of mold found in the air inside the library as well. As a precautionary measure, the library will be closed at least until the results of those air tests come back at the end of the week.
6:04 is your time right now. Reedsburg residents are seeing an unexpected jump in their taxes over 6% with no warning from the city council. Reedsburg City Treasurer Jacob Crusetto says there was no reason for city council to believe their tax rate for 2019 wasn't right when it was presented to them in budget meetings, but it wasn't. City Administrator Stephen Compton had figured the number on his own, bringing the mill rate to council without showing the calculations, which is normal. Council used that to decide not to raise taxes, but then they got their taxes in the mail last week.
This year, they were extremely surprised last Saturday when they opened up their mail and it says your taxes went up 6.2% for the city. And so that's what really sparked the council's outrage, rightfully so, because they felt like they were misled.
The issue has since been corrected and the administrator has resigned. The chief of police will fill in for him while the mayor finds a replacement. Now, this is not the same type of error we saw in Verona, and it did not result in over-collection.
Dairy farmers from across the state will be in Madison today for a two-day industry meeting as a new report shows just how bad the environment is for them right now. The latest data from the state agriculture department saw its biggest drop in herds since records were first kept in 2004. Western Wisconsin had the highest number of farm bankruptcies in the country last year, and the number of bankruptcies are only expected to go up across the Midwest. The professional dairy producers of Wisconsin will talk about how to reverse some of those trends at its summit that starts this afternoon at the Madison Sheridan.
Well, Santa isn't the only one checking twice to see who is naughty and nice this holiday season. Scammers are looking for every opportunity to take advantage of your holiday spirit. Financial planners say there are three types of scams to be on the lookout for this time of year. Those deal with shipping and fake tracking numbers, phishing scams that try to steal your credit card info, and travel scams. We told you yesterday how a record number of people are expected to travel this holiday season. Experts say some email offers or discounts might be too good to be true to some places. Be sure to check with the offer and who it's coming from and ask for references. And never wire money to someone you don't know.
You want to make certain that the company that's offering that travel deal is in fact a legitimate one. And so one of the things you can do is go to the Better Business Bureau and look for the ratings and information about a company that might be making an offer.
Now, to avoid those scams, Mark Farnan with Retirement Income Planning says it's important to keep track of your spending and watch your accounts on a daily basis, especially this time of year. Also, only make purchases from online sites you know and trust. Lots to look into this time of year.
I know, there was a lot to remember and a lot still to buy for this one right here. So
yeah, I'm way ahead of you.
I know you are. I know you are. I need to take you up on the preparedness level here for the holidays.
I'll keep pushing you.
Thank you.
All right, it is just about 6:07 this morning. We're all pretty cognizant of our phones invading our privacy, but it's not always clear just how much they're following our every move. We'll sit down with a tech expert to talk about the settings you should be putting on your kids' cell phones, let alone yours.
Before that, though, Hattie is not tracking our location, but we'll see where rain will fall later on today. Your full forecast is first when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A little cool outside, but not as chilly as it was yesterday at this time. Temperatures are still in the 30s in most spots. But take a look at highs across the region yesterday. You didn't have to go too far to see 50s. 55 in Des Moines yesterday, 51 in St. Louis, 42 in Chicago, 44 here in Madison, and 43 in Minneapolis. Now today is going to be a little different. We're not going to see the sunshine that we saw yesterday, and we are talking about a little light precipitation as well. You can see some of those showers developing across Iowa overnight and now spreading into southwestern Wisconsin. So there's definitely a chance to see a few showers today. Temperatures have been pretty close to the freezing point in some spots, so there was the potential for a little bit of freezing rain early, but as temperatures continue to climb, that shifts over to all rain heading into the afternoon. Here's a look at Weather Track. It is showing you that clouds are out ahead of these showers, so even if you're not seeing any rain this morning, you'll likely see plenty of cloud cover. Our temperatures, though, under those clouds are milder. We're about 5 to 15 degrees warmer in most spots this morning. Take a look at the actual number. Holding steady at 33 here in Madison, 34 in Mineral Point. Boscobel, though, is at 30, and it's 32 in Watertown. So there are a few spots that are right around the freezing point. Our winds are light from the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. They'll be increasing a little bit through the day, so it's likely going to be a little breezy, just like it was yesterday. Those winds anywhere from 10 to up to 20 miles an hour this afternoon. But they will stay from a southerly direction, so mild temperatures continue here across southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. It's pretty light on the rain chances this morning. Now, those showers will likely be pretty scattered. Best chances to see the rain will be north and west of Madison. Look for high temperatures in the low to mid 40s this afternoon. Clouds are going to stick around tonight, and as a cold front moves through the area, there is the potential for a little bit of rain, possibly mixing with a few snowflakes at time as we head into Thursday. Little to no snow accumulation, though, is expected. So unfortunately for us, it doesn't look like we have a very good chance for a white Christmas around here. In fact, take a look at that extended forecast. It shows quiet weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as well as most of Monday. So if you're traveling this weekend, that is the good news. The weather shouldn't slow you down at all. There is a chance for some flurries developing on Monday and then lasting into Tuesday. And we're watching another stronger storm for the middle of next week. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning with Josh Tim. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it's a quiet start so far in the Beltline this morning. Things are looking good in both directions with no major delays. Other roads here in Dane County not looking too bad either. Just a few of the usual brake lights starting to show up on Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline. No delays downtown around the Capitol and on campus. Look for things to pick up over the next hour or so. And other main routes leading into the city, they're cruising along at the posted speeds with no major issues. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. So trending on Twitter this morning, the New York Times reports Facebook gave companies like Spotify and Netflix the ability to read users' private messages. The social media site also reportedly allowed Microsoft's Bing search engine to see the names of users' Facebook friends, let Amazon access user names and contact information, and allowed Yahoo to view Facebook posts. In all, 150 companies reportedly benefited from deals with Facebook. The company's director of privacy and public policy says none of the partnerships violated users' privacy agreements or Federal Trade Commission policies. However, another New York Times article is showing just how accurately our smartphones are tracking our every move.
Many of us don't realize that's happening and how advertisers are getting their hands on that information. Steve Knoll is a business and social media professor at Madison College, and he joins us now to explain more about what's all happening here. And it seems like this technology every day is changing more and more.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's constantly changing. I mean, this is such a new frontier of technology, and we're still evolving with issues of privacy and trust and how they work and how to make money off all these free apps that you download on your phone.
So let's talk a little bit about this location tracking situation, because I think a lot of us just are under the assumption, we function under the assumption we're not private anymore, right?
Yes.
Our information's out there. But when you hear that somebody can track your every move, whether you know your locator information's on or not, how is this happening, and what's done with this information?
Well, first of all, you have to understand how it works.
Yeah.
So you download a free app on your phone, and you know the saying is nothing in life is free. So if something's free right away, that should trigger something. So say for example, it is a weather app. So you're going to go golfing. You want to know if what time it's going to start raining at 3:24 in the afternoon. Okay. So when you download it, the app itself is constantly what's called pinging, sending out like a location beacon that's bouncing back to find where you are. That information is being collected and then sold to companies. So the idea is that it's not necessarily saying, oh, this is where Danica is. It's, user 826B234. It's anonymous. But these big data sources, people who have access to it, can go in and say, let's follow this one dot around and eventually say, oh, they work here, they live here, you can go online, you can get their address. You can eventually figure out that anonymous data source and who it is and who they are. So we're still evolving this whole idea of privacy and what is ethical and how to monetize it. The scary part is if it's just anonymous data, there's a lot of really good stuff on that. But who actually is seeing this data, and can they actually look at the individual point and then correlate that to an individual?
So obviously a lot of parents get concerned because more and more kids have their smartphones at a younger age. What can parents do to protect their kids?
Well, two things. Number one is phones do have location services that are turned on and off. The bad part of just turning it all off is then you lose all the GPS functionality that we like traffic and weather and emergencies and all that stuff. You can go in and individually adjust that with an app. You can say, turn the GPS off on this app, this app, this app. But a lot of it is just how the app is built. When you first download an app, you might get a message that says, use location only while using the app or always on. Always say only when the app is being used. That's kind of like a step one to help limit it. And for a lot of things, not just the privacy things, but draining your battery. Some of these apps are reporting the location 20 to 30 times a minute.
Wow.
So if you think about, the average person has about 20 apps running on their phone, all sending out this information. So you think of all the data that just from walking around, how much you're sending out in terms of, from a business perspective, it's opened up a whole industry that never even existed 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right. God,
It's
that is
amazing.
fascinating stuff. Thank you. Steve Knoll over at Madison College. We appreciate your time this morning.
Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll get you some coffee now. All right, there are many, many reasons that I am not in the medical field. I don't know about you, Josh, but number one, I'm horrible with needles, just horrible. Number two, it can be a high-stress, low-reward job with really abnormal hours. I know we know something about that, but we're talking about an effort happening right here in Madison to keep nurses in that field.
Yeah, there's a reason I do what I do.
Yeah, amen.
And Hattie says the kids might need a raincoat on the way home from school today. Kind of strange we're not talking about the winter boots. We'll check in with her when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Our forecast today does include a chance for a few showers. We're seeing some of those showers show up on the radar map early this morning. Maybe not all that rain actually hitting the ground just yet, but we also see clouds as well. Here's a look at our temperature change from this time yesterday. Under the cloud cover, it is a little bit milder this morning by about 5 to 15 degrees. Actual numbers are, for the most part, in the 30s across southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your bus stop weather forecast. Plan on a lot of clouds today. Temperatures climbing from the low 30s back into the low 40s this afternoon. Again, a few showers will be possible throughout the day. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Hattie. We certainly will. So as we deal with a nurse shortage here in Wisconsin and all across the country, there are signs that tracking steps could be the key to avoiding burnout in that line of work. A study over at UW-Madison is using Fitbits to figure out just how much work nurses are putting in on a day-to-day basis and how that could be adding to fatigue. The idea is that these wearable devices could help record steps, heart rate, and sleep information so researchers can analyze just how a nurse's workload affects how burnt out they feel.
Researchers on the UW campus are looking at a new way to lose weight, and it starts with an implant. These tiny battery-less devices are less than a centimeter wide and help generate electric pulses from the stomach to the nervous system. The goal is to trick the brain into thinking the stomach is full just after a few bites of food. Researchers say this might be a better option than bypass surgery since that permanently alters the capacity of your stomach, whereas this device's effects can be reversed. So far, the testing has only been done on rats. The next step is to try it on larger animals and then move on to human trials.
We are taking some time to talk this morning about how we should be confronting bullies to better understand why they're harassing others. Child psychologist Britt Kuhlman says it's best to have some level of understanding when it comes to why a kid is being a bully before they're immediately punished. She says if you go straight to grounding or disciplining a child in some way, they're missing an opportunity to really fix the problem.
We're probably not going to get the full story because the child is going to feel like we're not on their side already, right? So they're going to feel like they have done something wrong, they're bad as a person, maybe even, and they're going to be less likely to share truly what's going on with them.
Kuhlman says you could be a lot more successful with confronting a child who's bullying someone else if you're not accusatory, but instead genuinely trying to understand their side of the situation.
We have a lot on bullying and other mental health related topics up on our Time to Talk page. That's also where you can find the information on our new Be You effort, encouraging teens, kids, and everyone to be confident about what makes us unique. You can see more on that on channel3000.com/timeforkids. 6:24 is your time right now. We have another robbery to tell you about this morning that happened outside of a West Side drugstore.
And while you are solidifying holiday plans with the grandparents, it might be a good time to remind them that scammers are out for their hard-earned retirement cash. The news is back in the morning on News 3 this morning.
House Speaker and Janesville native Paul Ryan is saying goodbye after 2 decades in Congress. We'll preview his farewell address happening today.
And dozens of people in Beloit do not want to hear that their opinions are too little too late when it comes to a new casino there.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. It is 6:28 on this Wednesday, December 19th, and we are expecting more mild temperatures today, but a bit of a change in the weather department.
Yeah, it hasn't been feeling like December, but
No.
we do have some weather moving on in. Hattie's out on the Hattio patio with the latest. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, we definitely have a little bit more weather to talk about today in the form of a few showers and more clouds across southern Wisconsin. Yesterday at this time, we were able to see the starting of a beautiful sunrise, but not the case this morning. Clouds are already in place across southern Wisconsin, and a few showers are showing up on the radar map as well. Now, not all that is actually hitting the ground right now, but there is a chance for a few showers, especially north and west of Madison through the day today. Our temperatures are warmer than they were yesterday, but still a few spots are at or below freezing. 30 in Boscobel right now, 32 in Juneau and Watertown. So be aware that their temperatures are close to the freezing point early today. We will see a climb in those temperatures, though, pretty quickly this morning. We're headed back into the low 40s later on this afternoon with a southerly wind. Now let's get a look at those traffic maps this morning. Your first alert traffic update for this hour shows you just a few brake lights on Stoughton Road right around the Beltline, but otherwise no issues to report right now. If you are traveling into Madison on some of those major routes, you're still going at posted speeds. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, Hattie, thank you. House Speaker Paul Ryan will say goodbye later today after serving 20 years in Congress. The Janesville native will make his farewell address at noon at the Library of Congress. The speech was originally scheduled for 2 weeks ago, but was rescheduled due to the state funeral of former President George H.W. Bush. Ryan announced earlier this year he was retiring from Congress to spend more time with his family. Former Ryan aide Brian Stile won the race to replace him in November and will be sworn in January. You can watch the speech live on Speaker Ryan's website as well as on our Channel 3000 digital platforms.
There is still a chance Scott Walker could go to Capitol Hill after a new governor is sworn in a few weeks. Walker has said that he plans to stay in Wisconsin once he's out of office. However, those comments were made before the president announced Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke was stepping down. Walker's reportedly in the running now for that position. The closest department to that here in the state is the DNR. Former DNR Secretary Scott Hazzett says there is some concern about Walker shifting the focus away from science in that department, but others have praised him for making the agency more business friendly.
I thought it would be an unusual pick because traditionally Secretary of Interior appointments are all Westerners, because most of the major issues have to do with Western lands and resource extraction.
Governor Walker was in Washington earlier this week for a reception at the White House, but his office would not comment on the reason for his visit.
Meanwhile, Governor-elect Tony Evers will announce his picks for his cabinet today in Milwaukee. He's wrapping up an 8-day, 5-city tour of the state. Evers and Lieutenant Governor-elect Mandela Barnes have been crisscrossing the state as part of their Building the People's Budget tour. It's an effort to see what Wisconsin residents think should be prioritized in the next budget. So far, they've gotten everything on feedback from taxes to the environment and education. The tour started last week in Green Bay and also included stops in Wausau, Superior, and La Crosse. Evers has said he isn't worried about getting a budget passed despite the Republican-controlled legislature. New this morning, residents in Beloit are voicing their concerns about a proposed casino, but city officials say it's too late. The Janesville Gazette reports about 40 people attended a meeting last night to share concerns about the proposed Ho-Chunk Casino and Resort. Others asked why another advisory referendum couldn't be held to gauge public opinion. The last referendum on a possible casino there was held back in 2000. Any changes to the current agreement would require new negotiations. The development is expected to cost over $400 million and will be on a 33-acre plot of land located off of I-3990 near Willowbrook and Colley Roads.
We have another possible armed robbery to tell you about this morning that happened in a Walgreens parking lot. Just after 6:30 last night, a man was pulling out of his spot at the Mineral Point Road location right near South High Point Road when a man reportedly walked up to ask him a question. That suspect put one hand inside the car window, the other inside his sleeve. He then demanded money. The victim thought he may have a gun, so he handed over some personal items and the suspect ran away. No one was hurt, but this is the second time this month where someone was targeted in their car outside of a Walgreens on the west side. Someone robbed a 76-year-old man at gunpoint around the same time of day, throwing him to the ground in the process. Anyone with information on either case is asked to call Madison police.
A Madison cab company is back on the road full-time this morning after cutting hours for safety concerns. Green Cab pulled its drivers off the road this weekend after a string of robberies. Since Sunday, the company has only been running until 7 at night, citing those safety concerns. The company is officially back on the roads for a 24-hour operation as of 6 this morning.
Madison police want to remind you to lock up your home before going to sleep. That department tweeted out the warning after an officer reported someone climbing on top of their vehicle to get onto a porch attached to an apartment complex. When that patio door was locked, the person then climbed over the railing and tried to get onto the patio next door. So, moral of the story here, lock up all exterior doors, no matter what floor they are on.
It's easy to forget about the budget this time of year, and many people try to take advantage of vulnerable folks out there. While younger people are more likely to fall for a scam, seniors are losing the most money. Experts say victims over age 80 lost nearly $1,100 last year, making them a prime target for scammers. Those scammers usually inquire a grandparent about their grandchild, saying they must wire money or send a gift card. Financial planner Mark Farden says retirees cannot afford to fall for these scams. They are usually on a fixed income, and the money they lose may not be able to be replaced.
Just don't take the word for the person on the other end of the phone telling you that it's true. My father did. He said, well, they sounded so legitimate.
Other scams include shipping scams and one that Farden says is growing, traveling scams. It's of concern, especially this holiday season, as we've told you, a record number of people are expected to travel.
That is really terrifying because some of these can sound so legitimate. They know such personal details about your grandkids or whoever they're calling about.
And it's always kind of so immediate where you want to do everything you can.
Of course.
But they say, the best thing to do is just maybe call a loved one or call a friend and just maybe get that second opinion.
Yeah, great advice there. 6:35 right now. Crews say a lack of water led to a fire burning for hours in Walworth County last night. We'll have more coming up in the morning sprint.
And in a brief survey of the newsroom, the reaction is mixed to the new cereals coming out. Some as soon as this week. Perhaps a taste test is in our future. Break out the milk and we'll have the details coming right up on News 3 This Morning. And welcome back. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and you all know I'm all things Christmas when it comes to the Christmas carols, the
Love
festive socks, not fox. So I had to pick out.
Foxes,
yeah,
who knows?
there you go. So we're sharing Jim Bradley's picture this morning. He posted this on Facebook. This is the morning lights at Olin Park. He's wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, and that line to see that is just so long every night. It's so cool to see people getting out to check that out.
I haven't braved it to wait in that line quite yet. Plus, it's usually like somewhat past my bedtime, Josh. So
you should do it in the morning then.
Okay, we'll have this conversation later. Foxes and soxes, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for sharing, Jim. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Use that hashtag MyNews3Morning, and Josh and I and Leah, all the gang, share our favorites every morning here on the program. Okay, a Wisconsin native is waking up the runner-up in a nationally televised singing competition. Chris Cruzy came in second place in last night's finale of The Voice. The Barron area native used Twitter to show he is hashtag smalltownstrong and repeatedly thanked his Wisconsin fan base throughout the season. In one episode, he dedicated a performance of Let It Be to missing 13-year-old Jamie Kloss. Cruzy also sang that song at a vigil for her back in October, soon after Kloss went missing. Her parents were found dead inside her home.
As people around the country remember the life of actress, producer, and director Penny Marshall, we're learning more about how she paved the way for women working behind the camera in Hollywood. Born in the Bronx, Marshall rose to fame in the 70s as one half of the Milwaukee-based brewery working duo Laverne and Shirley. She eventually moved behind the camera into the director's chair, hitting home runs with movies like A League of Their Own and Big. That film helped launch Tom Hanks' career and was the first film directed by a woman to earn over $100 million at the domestic box office. She was 75 years old.
Okay, we will see how General Mills did last quarter when the cereal maker shares its earnings with investors later today. The company just announced, though, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Churros, Chocolate Toast Crunch, and a fruity version of Lucky Charms will be hitting store shelves. Now, the churros cereal is already available in some places. There was an actual petition to bring back the Chocolate Toast Crunch, and the newsroom is not so sure how magically delicious those new Lucky Charms are going to be.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, my dad, if you asked him his favorite cereal, it's always Lucky Charms. But he's a tried and true Lucky Charms man. I mean, I don't know. It just sounds like a weird Fruit Loop Lucky Charms combo.
Does.
It's a lot of sugar.
I'm pretty traditional with my cereal. I don't get too wild and crazy.
I know. Yeah, but I don't know. I give the churros and the chocolate a try.
Hattie, what do you think? We'll send it over to you.
We're going to send it over to her soon.
Oh, we are. Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on tomorrow morning because Hattie's talking about rain and snow possibly mixing overnight. Getting too excited to hear what Hattie's thinking about.
We will hear from her.
Before that, we'll see just rain thanks to another day of temperatures well above normal for this time of year. Her first alert forecast is coming up.
First, though, if you have a kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thank you for watching News 3 This Morning.
Welcome back at 6:45. There's a free meal tonight for families on Madison's west side. This is on Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. They're inviting anyone in the Meadowood neighborhood to its community Christmas supper. They're putting that on with the Meadowood Health Partnership and Madison police officers who are donating toys. That's tonight from 5 to 8. And the Madison Makers Market continues today with lots of fun activities for the whole family. At Kids Night, you can find games, a craft corner, and Winter Wonderful photo shoot. For $15, you can get the entire family into the event, and proceeds go to G-Safe, a nonprofit supporting LGBTQ students in our area. That goes from 5:30 to 8 tonight at Commonwealth Gallery off East Washington near McPike Park.
If you were hoping to give or pick up a unique handmade gift for someone on the Christmas list, Memorial High School has a winter holiday art fair today with all sorts of knit hats, ceramic polar bears, snowmen, and coffee mugs. You can stop by today, Thursday or Friday from 7:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. They are accepting cash and checks with all the proceeds going to the school's art department. All right, turning it over to Hattie now. And we're somewhat in the winter spirit, not really with this rain you're forecasting today.
I know, we're trying, and normally this time of the year I'd be forecasting snow, but not today. Looks like we have rain in the forecast. Temperatures, though, are real close to freezing, 33 here in Madison. So anytime you see temperatures that cold with rain in the forecast, you have to be on alert for some mixed precipitation. And the radar map is painting some pink shaded colors here and there, indicating that there may be a little bit of freezing rain mixing in. These showers, though, are going to be pretty scattered through the day. Here's a wider view of what's happening. You can see scattered activity lining up all the way back into Iowa. So as this entire system shifts off to the north and east today, there is that chance for a few showers. Amounts, though, are going to be pretty light with any precipitation. We're talking less than 1/10 of an inch for all of the state. It's hard to believe, though, that winter officially starts in just 2 days on Friday. 4/22 is the official start of winter. Certainly hasn't looked like winter or even felt like it for the last couple of weeks, but it's the day of the year with the least amount of daylight. So even though we don't have any snow on the ground, you may be a little excited here that days will start getting longer a little bit on Saturday. Here's a look at our current snow depth map across the area. Again, no snow for southern Wisconsin and much of the eastern part of the state. There still is a little snowpack on the ground through central and northern Wisconsin, but I'll be honest, our chances for a white Christmas here in southern Wisconsin are dwindling. Got about a 10% chance now. We have flurries in the forecast Christmas Eve into Christmas Day morning. Here's a look at GFS Future Track, our forecast model. We'll use it to look at the next several days. And again, a little rain today. Southerly winds, though, is going to keep that precipitation all in the liquid form this afternoon. Now, overnight tonight, it does get a little cooler, so we may see a few snowflakes mix in, but really little to no accumulation expected here across southern Wisconsin. Friday will be dry but colder with a northwesterly wind. And now it looks like that storm on Saturday that yesterday I was talking about a chance for snow. Well, looks like that system is going to stay to our north. So dry conditions here. Good for travel, though, across the region this weekend. Looking ahead to the Christmas holiday as we head into Monday, here's that chance for snow late Christmas Eve into Christmas Day morning. Otherwise, we're watching a bigger storm system then for the middle of next week. And again, this one has the potential to bring a mix of precipitation once again. Temperatures are generally in the 30s for the entire area this morning. We're in the mid-30s in many spots early today here in southern Wisconsin. Highs will climb back into the 40s, though, so another mild one. 44 in Stoughton, 43 in Evansville today. A little bit milder to the west. May see 45 for a high in Prairie du Chien, as well as Muscoda. To the north, we're looking at low 40s. 40 degrees in Montello and Mauston, 41 in Baraboo. Here in Madison, our forecast high today, 42 degrees, so a little bit cooler than yesterday. We will have a lot of clouds, though, through the day today. A chance for a little bit of mix tonight into early tomorrow, otherwise dry for the upcoming weekend. Looks like highs will be in the low 30s as we head into the Christmas holiday. Here's someone looking forward to it. This is Mia. She's wondering what's under the tree.
I bet she is.
I bet she has some presents under the tree.
She's hoping for treats.
She's hoping for something.
All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 This Morning.
6:52 time now for the morning sprint. Taddy has another mild day, but we could see rain this afternoon and a rain-snow mix overnight.
But we start with a fatal crash northeast of Madison this morning. One person is dead after a high-speed chase. A Dane County deputy tried stopping the driver around 8:30 last night in the town of Burke. That car sped off, reaching speeds of up to 100 miles an hour and ended up hitting a utility pole at the intersection of Wheeler and School Roads. 2 people were in the car at the time and both were taken to the hospital. Authorities haven't yet released the name of that person killed.
In Walworth County, crews say a lack of available water caused some serious issues with taking down a structure fire last night. The call came in around 6:15 for a fire on Lake Lorraine Road in the town of Richmond. Multiple departments responded to that fire, which burned for several hours. There were no injuries reported, but we're expecting some more information from first responders later today.
Another person has been robbed in a Madison Walgreens parking lot. Just after 6:30 last night, a man was pulling out of his spot at the Mineral Point Road location near South High Point Road. That's when a man walked up to ask him a question. The man appeared to have a gun when he demanded money, so the victim handed over some personal items. No one was hurt, but this is the second time this month where someone was targeted in their car outside of a Walgreens.
A judge will decide this afternoon whether there's enough evidence to send 35-year-old Cole Foster to trial. He is the man charged with firing a gun inside Vision's nightclub earlier this month. 4 people were shot there after a fight broke out. Police still haven't been able to figure out what led to that argument. Foster argues he was acting in self-defense after he was stabbed and that he is not responsible for all of the shots that were fired in that incident.
Our forecast today does include a chance for a few showers. We're seeing some of that activity right now on the radar map. A little bit of freezing rain maybe mixing in as well north and west of Madison this morning. Here's a look at your temperatures. While we are close to freezing this morning, we'll be well above it this afternoon with a high of 42 degrees.
Thank you, Hattie. A very different story in Washington state. That's where the National Weather Service will send a team today to survey the damage after a tornado touched down in a Seattle suburb yesterday afternoon. That rare event damaged homes and trees in the area. The entire state only sees an average of 2.5 tornadoes each year, and a December tornado is even more abnormal.
The House of Representatives is expected to pass a sweeping prison reform bill sometime this week. The First Step Act, passed last night in the Senate, will be the biggest change to the criminal justice system in decades. That legislation only affects people charged with federal crimes. That accounts for less than 1 of every 10 inmates in jails across the U.S. It gives federal judges more leeway for drug-related offenses and reduces sentencing guidelines for some repeat offenders from life in prison to 25 years.
We'll see if Madison's Common Council will approve a contract to keep officers in the city's 4 high schools. This after Police Chief Mike Koval says the new contract with that department does not align with state law. The school board approved that new agreement on Monday, but changed some of the language to make it so the district can fire educational resource officers if there's just cause. Chief Koval says he agreed to a contract before the amendments.
House Speaker Paul Ryan will say goodbye later today after serving 20 years in Congress. The Janesville native will make his farewell address at noon at the Library of Congress. Ryan announced earlier this year he was retiring to spend more time with his family. You can watch the speech live online on Speaker Ryan's website, as well as on our Channel 3000 digital platforms.
Beloit City leaders say some neighbors are coming to them too late with concerns about a proposed casino along the interstate. The Janesville Gazette reports about that at a meeting about the proposed Ho-Chunk Casino and Resort. People were asking why they weren't having another advisory referendum to gauge public opinion. That development is expected to cost more than $400 million and will be on 33 acres of land.
Right now this holiday season, there's a warning out about 3 popular scams to watch out for. Those deal with shipping and fake tracking numbers, phishing scams that try to steal your credit card info, and travel scams. Experts say some email offers or discounts to travel destinations might be too good to be true. Be sure to check who the offer is coming from and ask for references, and never wire money to someone you don't know.
Your time right now is almost 6:57. Let's check in one more time with Josh Tim with your First Alert traffic. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, we're still not looking too bad on the Beltline, with just the westbound side continuing to pick up between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. Usual crowd beginning to show up on inbound John Nolan at Rimrock and Olin Avenue heading into the downtown Madison area. I would look for some brake lights on northbound Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline, but other main routes leading into the city, they're cruising along at the usual speeds with no major crashes or issues. Your First Alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And here's a cloudy view of the Capitol this morning from our Edgewater Sky Cam. There is a little bit of rain showing up on the radar map this morning, so be aware of that. There could be some slippery spots on the roads, especially to the north and west. Scattered light showers are possible today, but otherwise just mostly cloudy skies with highs in the low 40s.
Well, that sunshine was nice while it lasted.
It certainly was.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks for joining us.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.